welcome to this video. Now, just lately, a lot of people have been asking if they, you know, what my workbench looks like, if they can have a look. So I thought I'd just do a quick video to show you, and I'll start at the beginning, I suppose. My workbench is essentially this desk. Now, I was given this for free. I think it's called a captain's desk. 4 drawers down one side, 3 down the other. I'm going to store various things, and then we'll have a look in a minute. This is the camera stand I use, just a cheap one off Amazon really. Clamps to the desk, just here. Same with this magnifier that I use sometimes. Clamp to the desk, and the phone fits in there. And I've had it since I started doing these, so 2 or 3 years now, and it's done me well. It's a good bit of kit really, considering how cheap it was. But no, so it just clamps on there. I can't do it one-handed, but it clamps on there like that, and then it's movable. So that's quite good. The little work desk I use is this wooden thing. Now, this was built by a friend of mine's dad, who was a woodwork teacher. I had to go around and he asked me to help take his layout down, and we sorted out his workshop. And he basically said anything you don't take will go in the bin because he had no use for it. And this was just too good to throw away. So I got a cutting mat, cut it to size, and arrow darted that on. I also added the magnetic strip at the back, and that's what I use. And it's relatively lightweight, but I use that for working on. So around the desk, I'll actually I might put the phone in the holder in a minute. I've got 7 of these things here from Lidl, and they are from Aldi, I think, actually, or Lidl. There, you can tell they're different drawer types. Like, that's the Lidl one, that's the Aldi, but I've got 7 of them, and I keep all my spare parts organised. So, like, you've got wire connectors, Helgen, Clayton lights there, Hornby 8F parts. So if I repair an engine, sometimes it's cheaper to buy a chassis, and I'll strip the chassis and then keep the parts. There's batteries like this, that Hornby A4 parts, wheels and all sorts in there. There's various loco detail packs. Yeah, these are all the little poly bags that come with locos. I just keep them all in here and use them if I need them. There's various PCBs, steam detail parts, buffers. What else we got? Springs, and then that one there that's buried in amongst that sort of stuff. That stuff I've got that I don't often need. So speakers, Ringfield motor bodies and stuff, and then obviously I've got all these Ringfield. They're all full of Ringfield parts. So I've got loads and loads of spare bits. That's not all of them. I do have some in other tubs, but the ones I use commonly are all in these things here. And they are wonderful from Aldi and Lidl, and they're cheap from there as well. So just having a look, I'll go through this box in a minute because that was a donation. This is a mainline Jubilee I bought. Noisy runner, but it's a good runner, and it's got a complete valve gear and the axles are good. Bought it for spares. This Lima 117 I picked up from the model shop a month or 2 ago. I'm going to convert it to a CD drive and chip it. That's what that's there for. Helping hands, there's some brass domes being painted. They're waiting to be refitted. This is the tool organiser I got from Temu. Very good bit of kit. Transfers in those tubs. Another camera stand, meths, contact cleaner. Everything I've got is to hand. You know, it's like I'm sat here. I'm holding the phone at forehead height, and you can see I've got access to everything I need. So I'll have a look at this donation in a minute. This was sent in by a chap called Julian, who I've been servicing his locos for. On this side of the workbench, I've got my compressor, soldering iron, and then these are loco cradles, but this is that screwdriver set that I got from Parkside as well. So what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to set the camera stand up and then put you in that so I can have a look and show you what else I've got about. So you're on the stand now. These on here, these are cordless drill boxes and cases, but in this drawer here I've got various bits of paper, just make sure no addresses on them. Some letters from you guys, and an instruction manual for my Gauge Master controller. Picture of the Flying Scotsman, along with various service sheets. There's one there for WD. Things that I've done for Trash to Tracks in the past. Now in the drawer, you've got various engines or little projects I've got to do. This is a Triang Princess that we got out of the Gems or Junk 2 or 3 years ago. There's a few of these coach lighting units that I've got to fit. There's 2 of them. There's a few Caledonian pugs when they're in Castle Donnet, and I like that because why that? I like that one because on the train there departing, which I watched as a kid, there was a Castle Donnet locomotive on there, but this one seems to be in pretty rough nick, so I might have to do that up. I did buy them for a project, but instead I'm going to use these, the chassis off of these, but you'll have to wait and see what that is. So there's there's a Hornby AA Traffic Services tank. I want a couple more of them before I convert them. Convert the couplings, you know, for Speedlink work. Got my dad's Flying Scotsman. This is dad's from when he was younger. Now, this was going to be on a Trash to Track, but I did his Sardinadan, if you remember. And it doesn't run on his track because it's code 75, so this is in storage. It's got that lovely chuff chuff sound. I remember that from being a kid. So I put that in there. There's a DCC Sound A4. Let's try and get this right a bit. DCC Sound A4 that I did on a Gems or Junk. Got cheap because it's damaged. Woodhead electric and a SNCF electric that I've not done yet, but I've got that for the pantograph, so I'm going to swap them over. That's a German steam engine. That Bachmann 20, there's nothing wrong with that. That's in there because I've got another project to do. I was looking for one of these the other day. It's got no wheels in it. All couplings, but I'd like a low well for the garden railway. There's a Triang 31. This is in pretty poor nick, but I get these because the armatures in them are good, and that's my dad's Deltic there. Again, stored away because it won't run on his track. And there's a set of tweezers there. So that's what's in that drawer. If there's anybody watching, maybe nobody's watching. In this one, in this drawer, you got some TCS decoders, a wagon kit, Clayton that's waiting to be done up for Trash to Track, digital calipers, super glue, drills, a big box of Hornby Class 31 parts because they were Mazak rot, various loco body shells, and then these are just, oh, these were sent to me, these spare parts. These are in the drawer. In that box, that's not an aeroplane kit. Oh, there's some foreign coaches or European coaches there, they need sorting out. That's full of old Airfix wagons that somebody gave me, they all need repairing. There's a tender there for a Hornby 008F. This. That is a chassis for B12, look. Oh, bloody hell. When I was looking for one, I've just done one of these on a Trash to Track. I didn't know that was in there, look, and that gear on there is in good order. Oh, well, at least I've got another spare one. Tape, Class 50 parts. There's enough Hornby 50 parts in that tub to build a complete loco if I need to. I don't know if I've mentioned it before on a video, but years ago, 18 years ago, I had a cabinet on the wall when I lived at mum and dad's full of my engines, and it fell off the wall and loads of stuff got smashed beyond repair. At the time it was gutting, but now I've got so many spare parts because of that. I've just done that one. In the bottom is a Dalek. Well, I think he's been in the sun too long. More spares. There is box of bogies for there's the Hornby 004 ratio kits. Then I've got, what's this in here? Oh, this is that little 040 shunter that I'm going to do up for a trash to track. I'm just got to get a motor upgrade kit for that. So that's all stored away in there, out the way. I don't often go in that bottom drawer. I didn't know that Dalek was in there, if I'm honest. And then on the other side, I've had to take you off the stand again because it wouldn't bend that way. That's just full of wagons like Annie and Clarabelle's and stuff that I'm not going to use. That's why it's clamped in there. This drawer has got these bits of paper I printed off to put on the cutting mat. I don't know why I did that initially, to advertise the channel a bit, but it's just something I do now because it tends to keep the cutting mat clean. So there's loads of them, some paintbrushes, another 20. Again, that's a fully working 20, but it's for a project. There's a toolkit that I got from Team There's a Western, another 31 for the armature spares. There's a Lima 08, various chassis, and that's all that's in there. There's various chassis and stuff like that. So I need to do a stock take really. In the bottom drawer, that's just full of tools and stuff that I've got from the Parkside and Lidl videos. Right, what I'll do now is I'll put you back on the stand and we'll have a look at this donation, and then I'll show you something else that I've also got in my workshop. Right, so I'm going to open this box up. Like I said, this is from Julian. I've been servicing his locos. I haven't done any videos because it is all just it's all 1970s, 80s Hornby stuff. So it's all just ringfield service after ringfield service. So, but the first thing we've got is a triangle chassis by the look of it for a Princess. An early Princess. That wheels come off the axle there. But it's handy for the motor. The motor's good and the side rods, so that's good for spares. And oh, look at this. There is a Hornby. Is it a Hornby one? Yeah, it is. Hornby 4F. The homemade tender drawbar. And that's been renumbered or redone from... I like that. I like the 4Fs. Put that on there. I do keep the boxes because it's handy to have. Whoops, I keep knocking the camera stand. So there we have a, where's the battery gone? There it is. A Hornby 4F. Now I do have an Airfix one, but I don't actually, why is that so sticky? That can go in the bin, I think. Don't know what that is. I do have an Airfix one, but I don't think I've done one on Trash to Track. I can't remember. I've done that many episodes now. Well, it tried to go. It's trying to run, look. I wonder if I... It was trying to go, so that'll make a good video. That will, so I'll do that and restore that in the future. I've got all stuff all over my finger now. I don't know what that was. And this triangle chassis... Yeah, that's showing signs of life as well. Oh, did you see that bright flash on the commutator there? Yeah, it's very, very dirty. Needs a service. But it's all serviceable. I like that 4F. So thank you very much for those, Julian. Took you off the camera stand. And I'll just show you to the right of the workbench. All these boxes, all this stuff here is what you send me. And it may look chaotic, but I know exactly where it is. That clear tub is full of Julian's trains, Paul's stuff for service. This 4P belongs to a guy called John. I've just done that. That's going to be sent back next week. And everything, as I say to you when you email me, everything's done in order of how you send me it. So I know I've got it written on my phone, so it's just tucked away. If I zoom out a bit, it's to the right of my workbench. It's out the way, not going to get stood on, under the layout. There's the old turntable that I used to use. I might bring that back because some of the poorer models were good on the turntable, I thought. Got my remag machine. Those cabinets there are full of boxes and like empty train boxes. But you can see like my workbench is surrounded by my layout. And obviously on the walls I've got several signs all around. That's a genuine arrow off 31552 or 31452. It was renumbered, but that was a genuine arrow. My mum and dad got me that for my 21st birthday. That was almost 20 years ago, which is scary. Various varnishes, pots and, you know, things for the house. Buses and cars, you name it, it's all just stored out the way at the minute. 2 block bells. These come out of Peterborough Power Box when it closed. This one was the King's Light Bell, which has got a lovely ring to it. And this one is the Eastfield North Bell. And I've got the corresponding bell for that from Eastfield on my mantelpiece, which is nice. And a few wagon plates that I've got over the years. Several aircraft hanging up. On the ceiling, I've got a painting of the Nene Valley Shed at Wansford. Now, I do like this painting. This reminds me of how I remember Wansford when I was growing up, with the Kriegs lock and the 40 and all that. I put it up there because it was getting ruined, so I just put it up there out of the way, really. Right, so I've turned around now. My workbench is behind me, and under here, and before these mess room signs, toilet, and these came out of Peterborough Power Box as well when it closed down. So under here, where my control base is, you can see all the boxes. Some of these have got trains in for trash to track. Some of them are empty. There's a box of castles that's going to feature soon. And if I move my spirit level and move that wire, this drawer here is full of, well, it's got some Gauge Master stuff in it. But this is full of my locos that are waiting for trash to track. There's a Smoky Joe, A3, there's a Jubilee, various peaks. But they're all in there. They are non-runners, demics, or need work doing to them. That is just a bit like if you guys ever, if like the repair work stops from you guys, I've got a stockpile of locos to make videos on. I must have enough to do another 100 videos, if not more. These other drawers are just basically just crap you keep, isn't it? Various kits to build, and again all situated underneath the main layout. Now I'm underneath the station middle part of the layout now, and I've got this drawer tower. Now this top drawer, as you can see, this is also full of locos that are mine, that I've picked up, that will feature in Trash to Tracks in the future. There's a Mallard, Lima Prairie, a couple of European diesels, some of these Triang Nelly tank wagons. There's a Tornado. What state of that? The smoke doors upside down. Various projects in there. Should I ever get no repairs from you guys, so there's plenty to be getting on with. Also under the middle part of the layout is this tower, and this is full of spare parts. Now you've got motor blocks, wheels, chassis. I don't throw anything away, I keep everything just in case. So body shells, tender body shells, chassis and weights. So if anybody sends me something that needs wheels or something, I go through these and search through them all. I've got oh, I'm trying to balance on a box and I can't do it. Got parts of coaches. Underneath here is the box. Whoops. This is mainly full of old wheels and stuff, but it's handy to keep them, because if I ever needed like a brass bearing, that they're on the axle. So, but like I say, I don't chuck anything away. Keep it all in these things here. There's a layout there that I got part built, so I'm gonna do that in a video in the future. Also around the back here, out of the way, are all these boxes. Now in these boxes, somebody contacted me recently and said, oh, relatives passed away and we've got railway photographs, would you like them? They said some. And these 3 huge boxes turned up full of albums like this. Like this one, for example, is all B17s. Like one of each, and they're all numerical order as well. It is absolutely cool. I've not been through them all yet, but like this one, all pictures taken at York. Like nameplates, like Voyagers and Grand Central HSTs, all taken in and around the York area. Now, I've not been through them all myself, but to say it was, I was surprised to get all them is an understatement, because them 2 boxes there are full of photographs as well. So it's something else I've got to sort out when I get the time. Right, so I just thought I'd show you some of the tools I use. As again, it's been requested, so answering any questions. This is my toolbox. In the top, various little things, bits and pieces, couplings, Bluey's mum, refills for fiberglass pencils, cocktail sticks. In this side I've got scalpel blades, bearings, stuff like that. Things I'm not going to use very often. There's also a couple of decoders, and this is what I use on a day-to-day basis. Scalpel, which fits nicely in there, Loctite super glue, which you've seen me mention before, wet and dry fiberglass pencils. People are going to ask me where I get my tools from. Now, a lot of them I've inherited. These black handled, my tweezer nose pliers that I use all the time, came from the same guy whose dad built the tray, so they were inherited, if you like. But Expo Drills and Tools is a good place to start. Have a look online. Here I've got my LaBelle 106. Yeah, these are Expo. These are hex nut drivers for crank pins. I've got an old makeup brush to dusty locos, as well as an old paintbrush. Some side snips, toothbrush, blade refills. There's my black handled screwdriver, as I call it, because it's got a fine tip on it. That came with a kit. When I built that big Thunderbird 2, which I will do a video on, that came with it, and that's where I got that from, so I do know where that came from. The one thing that's not in the toolbox at the minute are these. These are my gear pullers and wheel pullers. I've got 3 different types. This one's an Expo Drills one, and that one, again, I inherited from that chap. But they're handy for pulling wheels and gears off armatures, etc. So they're handy to have. Another thing that I use a lot of are these. These are self-adhesive weights used for balancing your tyres. You're very cheap for a box. You just cut them up 5 and 10 gram increments. Luckily enough, my father-in-law is a mechanic, so if I ever need any, I just drop him a line. But they're handy for weighting down stuff, you know, like wagons and or putting into locos. What does that say? Dans do not sell. Underneath, there's various bits of wire, some traction tyres, buffers. That's full of miniature drill bits. There's wire, junior hacksaw, my Baccarat saddles, like a portable rolling road. So everything is carried around with me, because like I said, sometimes I do this at work. So, and I'll put some pictures up of where I work. While I put this back, I work in a box called E-Sealed. Very busy on nights at the moment. GBRF are our main customers, although we do have DB, Freightliner and GTI units in as well. So that's the main toolbox I use. I do have another toolbox which has got things like vices and things in that I do carry about, and this other big black toolbox underneath my desk is full of my paints. Yeah, this toolbox is full of my paints. All the brushes sit on the top and all my acrylic paints are in there. I do use acrylics. I do like using acrylics. I prefer to use those. My enamel paints are over the back end of the layout because I don't often use them. Obviously used for cleaning, you know by now, methylated spirits I use, and also this stuff. I watched Double O Bill use that a couple of years ago, and it is excellent, that stuff. Very expensive, but it's excellent. I also use Barasso. Now somebody did comment that they couldn't get hold of this when they saw it in the video. Now I must have had this over 10 years because I only ever use it for models, so a little cocktail stick full or cotton bud full isn't going to use a lot, so I've had that a long time. But I've got a local hardware shop, like a proper old hardware shop, old style. So yeah, that is where the magic happens. That's where the trash to track takes place. All my tools and workbench, so everything is mended on there. And obviously the layout is built around it. Well, actually this was after the layout. My original workbench was over there, but this captain's desk is excellent. Like I said, it was free, so I was very lucky with that. And I can sit here occasionally and watch the trains go round. Like I said, it's just a quick video because I've had a lot of people, some people have emailed me, commented, oh, what does your workbench look like? Do you want a workbench tour? I would give you a tour of the whole garage, but there's a bit, but I've got this Denby pottery to get rid of. If anybody wants any Den, I've got two lots of that. Send me an email. I'll sort it out for you. You can buy it off me. This bit on the layout is where my 4-year-old daughter, she stands on that step ladder and plays, so I can't move any of this. If I moved anything, she'd know. She'd say, where's my person gone? So she plays here. So I've not really done any layout work, scenery wise, for well over a year because I've been that busy with repairs. But I'm going to crack on with the layout in the autumn, I think. But I'm not going to develop this bit while she keeps coming and playing with me, and she comes out and keeps me company. I'm not going to change it. And then obviously this bit runs down the middle of the garage and round the outside. So if you've got the seawall over there, comes round to the preserved line interchange and goes out for a hole in the wall, just in case people haven't seen it. A few garden locos on the shelf up here. Some of these are waiting repair, some of them work. My London brick saddle tank and brick wagons. There's more spare parts up there, like body shelves, and that's a body shell for a Lima 31 Crescent Wagon Works. That was a model rail kit, and various other bits and pieces. That's not genuine, I wish it was. That's a resin cast. I don't actually know where I got that from. I've had that for years. I don't know where it came from. There we go. There's a picture of James there, but I had that because he'll moan, oh, I didn't want to be on camera. Unless I've already done it, I can't remember. But yeah, there he is. Look. Hello. Train spotting with Grandad. I do like that because it reminds me of me going out with my Grandad when I was little. And then obviously more signs that I've acquired. And then them two on the wall as well. EWS signs. That one was bolted on, and the scrap man, when they came and got the porter cabins, they cut that off for me and gave it to me. And when GBRF took over March, they said, oh, there's a sign there, if you want it, take it, because it will get skipped. So I went over to March, took all the tools imaginable, socket set, screwdriver, you name it, I took it. It was held on the fence with cable ties, and the only thing I didn't have was a pair of scissors. So that was annoying. I've also got that plaque from 1975. I didn't paint that, I bought that, it was already painted. So 50 years old now, that is. And then on the ceiling, again, various posters that I've not got room for on the walls. 58s and a Peterborough departure board, that came out of the power box as well. When it used to be on the back wall. So yeah, there we go. There is a little bit of a tour on the workshop. Tools used, what's upcoming. Hopefully you've seen a couple of engines that will feature on the channel shortly. And I hope somebody's found it interesting. If not, tell me to sod off. But thanks for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. And if your loco's in that stack, I'll be in touch shortly, and I'll work my way through it. So cheers for watching. Bye for now.